And welcome back, guys. Let's open up the tree file up in Photoshop and let's make a new blank document. Let's title this your last name and just call this the alpha channel lesson. Let's do 9 by 6 inch and 300 resolution. Make sure it is on the RGB color mode. Press create. Let's go ahead and drag in the picture from our previous document and resize it to fit. Now let's make a duplicate of that layer by hitting our Command J, and we can rename the original picture tree and the copy tree test. Let's put a solid color between them like we always do, and let's go into the tree test layer, and we are going to go into our channels tab right next to our layers. Now if you notice, each picture is made up of 3 different colors, so let's find which of the 3 colors has the highest contrast, and right now that is the blue channel. So drag that down to the new layer button at the bottom of your channels panel, and let's go up to the image drop down, go to the adjustments, and let's go to levels. Let's go ahead and make this contrast even higher by adjusting the shadow, highlight, and the midtone sliders at the top until it looks a lot more like this. Now what is cool is we can go and grab our paintbrush, and let's make sure it's a soft paintbrush, and if you look at the top, you can go and change the mode, the blending mode, from normal to overlay. And overlay is going to do a really cool trick here. It's going to intensify white and it's going to intensify black depending on your foreground color. So I'm going to first paint out with the white in the sky, and I will flip it to the black for the tree itself. So like I said before, is that it's going to intensify. So if there's spots like this, we can go ahead and flip back to the white and we can take it out because we do not want gray. So make sure it's either black or white. Now don't go too crazy here, because what can happen is the black or white is going to fry the picture. Now we can go and create a selection from that blue copy by holding our command and clicking on that left thumbnail. We can hop back over to our layers and we can put in a layer mask. Now don't forget to flip it by hitting your Command I. Now it looks weird at first, but that's just because of the color choice. If you change your solid color to be more of a blue, it's going to look more natural and correct. So let's just rename that sky, and let's make a brand new blank layer, and let's rename that cloud. We can go into our brush settings panel and we can grab a powder brush from there, and we can go ahead and paint onto our actual layer and convert that into a smart object, so that way we can move it throughout the entire picture and it will not be cut off or harmed if it's not exactly on the whole document. So that is pretty sweet. Now let's go up to the file drop down and go to place embedded. From the folder that you've taken off of Blackboard, go and find the picture that is the clouds, the alpha channel clouds. And let's go ahead and resize it to fit, and we can go ahead and put in a curves adjustment layer on top, and make sure to put in a clipping mask to that cloud layer. Grab the hand icon in your properties panel and just adjust it. Let's go ahead and do a hue and saturation. Same thing, create a clipping mask and just take out some of the saturation. You can change up the color, and that is it. Make it look natural. We can go to File, Place Embed one more time, and go find the alpha channel moon picture, and let's go ahead and resize it like we did before. Now we can go ahead and select both of our adjustments, the curves and the hue and saturation. Hold the Option button on your keyboard and drag them up to make a copy. Create a clipping mask to both of them, and you can move around the moon now. That is pretty cool. Now let's go and grab those top 3 layers and put them into a group with our Command G. Do the same thing for the next 3 layers so that we can have 2 different kinds of backgrounds. Now the rest of this can just be kept where it is because it is pretty much straightforward. Now you can get rid of both the original picture and the background layer at the bottom because we do not need those. Now just do File, Save, and save it inside of the folder that you took off of Blackboard. Now this is only part 1 of 2 parts for this lesson of cutting out trees from their background. Now go to the Blend Diff folder and open up the picture in Photoshop. Let's go create a new blank document. Title this your last name, blend if, lesson. Let's do 9 by 6 inch, 300 resolution, and press create. Same concept. Let's go ahead and grab the original picture and drag it over, resize it just like before, and let's go ahead and let's make a duplicate of our layer. After we have renamed it tree, we can put a solid color between them. Just pick the same reddish color as we did before, and if you go to the top tree copy layer, go and double click on the right hand side to open up our layer styles. At the bottom you will see blend if. Let's go ahead and change it to the blue channel. And you'll see there's two sliders. So let's focus on just the top slider. And let's take that white slider to the left, and as you see, it's going to take out the blue from the background slowly, which is pretty sweet. But the problem is if you take it too far to the left, it's going to take out more than we want it to. It's going to fry up the picture, and that's not good. So let's take that back just a bit, and there's a trick that we can do here to make it look a lot more smooth. If you hold the option button on your keyboard and you can click on that white slider, it's going to split it so that we can adjust those two parts, and it's going to look a lot more smooth. Now adjust yours until it looks relatively like this. That's fine. Now the trick is that we need to bring the original tree picture up on top of our actual solid color, and we need to apply a layer mask, and we need to flip it with our command I. Grab your paintbrush, and let's make sure that it is a completely hard paintbrush at 100%, and make sure that it is white. Let's go ahead and paint over it and take out all of the red from our grass, and don't worry about the tree, just worry about the grass. Okay, so as you will see in the tree copy layer at the top, it still shows the original background. We need to right click and convert it to a smart object. That is when it's going to show that there is transparency. Now we can change up the solid color to be more like the sky. Now if you take it too far down, it's going to look really weird. Keep it on the brighter side because that's what helps to show more realism. Rename that layer sky, and let's go ahead and grab our top two layers, hold shift and press on the top one, and let's go ahead and let's do our command J to make a copy. Right click on it, and let's do merge layers. It's going to turn it into one whole layer. Now we can rename that layer tree final and hide both of those previous two files. Drag down the tree final layer, and let's put a new blank layer between our sky and the tree final layer. And just like we did before, let's go ahead and grab a powder paintbrush, paint with white, and we can convert that into a smart object after we name it cloud. And we can move it throughout our entire document, and that is pretty cool. I'm just going to make one more, and I'm going to call that cloud 2. And this is just to show you guys that this is a really nice method for cutting out more complex tree pictures and pictures that have a stronger blue background to it. Now what we can do is we can go up to our file drop down, go to place embedded, and let's go inside the folder from Blackboard and find the clouds blend if picture, and let's open that up. Let's resize it because we can see part of the ground in the background, which is not cool. We can put it where we think looks best. Now let's go ahead and do a curves adjustment right on top of that background, and let's clip it to it. And let's go ahead and grab the hand icon in our properties panel, and let's drag it up just a bit so it looks more natural to the picture. We can always do one more adjustment, and let's do a hue and saturation. Make sure that you clip it right down as well. Take some of the color out and save it out as a PSD. That is it, guys.